Hello, everyone, and welcome to Last Take. I get the last take, motherfuckers. A More Hoops production. I'm your host, Evan Moore, and today we had a bunch of phony outrage this morning. All the pearl clutchers came out to freak out about JJ's press conference. Like, oh, how can he curse? How can he curse? He's supposed to be professional up there. Seriously? 2024, and we're worried about a few curse words that weren't used in a derogatory manner. They were just used to emphasize a point. And we already have a guy on ESPN who's allowed to curse. But yeah, it's you always got to dig at something. Like, he gives a good press conference. So that's the only thing you can dig at, is the fact that he cursed. And this phony fucking outrage. I'm so sick of people like this that complain and moan about language when they themselves use coded language and hide behind other bullshit. And a bunch of you know what I'm fucking talking about. It's ridiculous and it's garbage. And like, in 2024, are you kidding me? That's what you're worried about? Like, we had a president for 4 years who disparaged anyone who disagreed with him. And yeah, like, spare me the fucking phony outrage. Like, are you still asleep? Like, give me a fucking break. So anyway, I could go on about that crap for hours, but I'll move on. They're just words, people. And if I said I was going to move on, but obviously I'm not moving on. But if they're not being used in a derogatory manner, like that's really a big delineating determination here. And I think that a few F-bombs in the press conference didn't hurt anybody, so get over yourselves. So anyway, on to my usual favorite target, Stephen A. Always saying something silly, aren't you? Always saying something dumb. So today you went on and you implied that people within the Lakers organization think that Dan Hurley's wife made the decision. Like, bro, Stephen A. reckless? Like, hey man, it's like, that's kind of, a good conversation to have with the guys maybe around the water cooler, but like, saying that shit on national TV, and like, Molly was at least right to call you out there in the end, like basically telling you there's really nothing factual about that. That's just speculation on anybody's part. And it's really none of our business, like, who ultimately made the decision. Like, the couple made it together, and we live with it. Like, what kind of fucking sexist bullshit? And you've been on this sexist bullshit here for a while. And it seems like you're, directing it towards Molly a lot of times too. Yeah, it's a good thing I only watch these little fucking clips on Twitter, or I'd get really annoyed. But and then you go on to insist and try and bullshit us that you're rooting for JJ. And now, it's really easy for you to say that, and then, you'll just hide behind the fact that, the stuff that you're saying is, is your job, right? Right? Because we all know you're just going to fucking talk shit about him every fucking chance you get this season. So this, you know, that was you trying to get in front of it and trying to tell everybody that, oh yeah, I'm rooting for JJ. I really want him to succeed. Bullshit. Bullshit. You do not want JJ and the Lakers to succeed. You know, I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't want your Knicks and Tibbs to succeed. Like, you know, like, yeah, sure, I was, you know, watching them and enjoying watching them in the playoffs, but like, you know, ain't no fucking us rooting for another team to get a championship. You know, it's just enjoying basketball. Like, so give me this, so spare me this fucking bullshit that you're rooting for JJ. I know you're not rooting for fucking JJ because he's with the Lakers. Like, just fucking be honest. You know, you're so full of shit. Like, you'd think that the fucking smell would be starting to get to you at some point. But, hey, what do you know? Hey, you're giving me something to talk about pretty much every day, so who am I to complain, I guess, you know? So anyway, I guess that's about all I got for you today, Stephen A. So we'll move on to the topic that is now buzzing across Twitter and freaking out Lakers Nation. There were reports that the Lakers are possibly going to keep pick 17. So here we go. Time to freak out. Like, before anything has even fucking happened. Like, you people like, you love torturing yourselves. It's riotously funny at this point. Like, every freaking year, like, oh no, it's terrible, it's the worst. And man, like, these things take time, for one. Like, I don't know how many of you remember, like, you know, the Celtics didn't fully get that super team together until right before the season. You know, that last trade with Drew Holiday happened, you know, a few weeks before the season. So, like, you're freaking out about roster that hasn't even been constructed yet, and a decision that hasn't even been made yet. Like, and also keeping that number 17 pick doesn't necessarily mean that we don't also make a trade. We still have tradable contracts. We still have 2 more tradable picks. Like, settle down, everyone. Just take a deep breath. Like, you got to remember, this is a slow process, and you know, you can't rush it, and you can't expect to, you know, have all the answers before they've even made a move. You know, like all these people that keep going on, you know, all these shows talking about, you know, oh well, you know, this team is you know, going to do whatever because, you know, of their roster right now. And like, so many of you are not ready for what this CBA is about to do to this league. Like, I think it's going to be a big surprise for a bunch of you, because the intent of this CBA is to level the playing field and to make it much, much harder to build a dynasty and reach for those, you know, one and done championship years. Because if you do, and you get to that second apron, the penalties, they really stack up. And it's so, like, the point of this is that it's supposed to, like, transfer power, you know, every few years. So, you know, you're gonna see, you know, actually, we're going to see if these teams that perennially, you know, are always in the bottom, if they actually do care about winning or not, because they're going to get an opportunity now. But I think just be prepared tomorrow. Like, it's not going to be, the old rules don't really apply. You know, this new CBA is new for all of us.